Hi, my name is Joyce WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Now, I'm seeing a lot of comments on the previous video that I've done with Joyce, Zhilei Zhang, the post-fight review of it, where a lot of people on that video and across social media saying Joyce is finished. It's the end of the road of Joyce. He was a hype job. He wasn't ever really that good. And you know how people are. A lot of people are always after the fact heroes. Hey, it is what it is, right? Now, is it the end of the road for Joyce? Is this it because he lost to Zhilei Zhang? Of course, currently he's out of the world title picture. Now, before we talk too much about it, cast your minds back. Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz Jr. Well, he beat him in the rematch, so he was right back in it. Dillian Whyte, also interim champion, much like Joyce was. Different organisation, Dillian was WBC and Joyce WBO. Lost to Povetkin, beat him in the rematch. People are saying that Dillian Whyte's finished, he won't get his world title shot and all that kind of stuff. People are saying the same thing about Joyce currently. Now, granted, there's a totally different circumstance when it comes to Joshua and Dillian Whyte. Okay, in the fact that they didn't have their face broken. Is this end of the road for Joyce? Is this now career over? Obviously, we're still waiting on official confirmation as to what's happened with Joyce in his face. Was it his orbital bone? Was it his cheekbone? Is it just a little bit of swelling? Is his nose broken? I mean, we really don't know, but it could be something quite serious where, don't forget, he's 37, 38 years old? This could be the end of him, career over. It could be. If it's serious enough, it'll be over because he didn't have the time on his side to heal and get back if it's serious. Not like a young fighter would, if that makes sense. But if he can get back in the ring, if it's not too serious, and if it's just going to take like a few months to, I don't know, have an operation if needed and then get back in and whatever else, could it be over for him psychologically? Part of his game plan was quite literally walking forward and taking up shots. People were talking about Joyce like he was Jason Voorhees. You know, he's going to get us all. He's a new boogeyman and whatever else. And I think Joyce believed it in himself. And I've said many times, I said the same thing about Deontay Wilder. People talk so much about that right hand that you start to believe in it, where you just become reliant on it. When someone takes it away, you're done. Maybe it's going to be the same with Joyce. Where people were saying before how Joyce would walk through a Tyson Fury. He could take the pepper-in shots and the permanent movement of Tyson Fury, ultimately trap him and get him out of there because he can take the shots. He can take the punches from Deontay Wilder. He can take the punches from Anthony Joshua. He can take the left hook of Dillian Whyte. He can take the power of Arsenbek Makhmudov and others and things like that. Now people will be looking at him a little bit differently to say, you've now got vulnerabilities. We've seen it. While your chin may be okay, your face ain't. Something's going to break. And it did. Is he now going to lose that confidence in himself? Now, hopefully he's going to be okay, and hopefully he does rematch Zhilei Zhang. And will he beat Zhilei Zhang in the rematch? I expect so, but I also expect to see a totally different fighter. You're not going to see this come forward kind of fighter who's just eating up shots to take a couple to land a couple. He ain't going to be doing that anymore. He's going to have those psychological scars. See, people say Anthony Joshua got psychological scars, but is Joyce going to have them too? And hopefully he does, because you don't like to see fighters taking all that punishment. You don't. And fighters do change their styles. Look at Tyson Fury. He hates getting hit because he does get put down. So he tweaked his style to make him very, very elusive. He did that for the longest time. Now he's a come-forward fighter because obviously he doesn't have the mobility that he once had. But at the same time, with Anthony Joshua, he needed to start boxing. He needed to add defense to his game because, again, he got hit a bit too much before as well, didn't he? So tweaking your style because of a fight is a good thing. It is. But Joyce finished? Well, let's hope not. His career over? Let's hope not. Let's hope not. I mean, that injury did look pretty bad though, didn't it? It really did. But anyway, I suppose all we can do is have an opinion. I know people will now criticise Joyce. He's washed and You know, his biggest asset was his chin, which of course it never was, but a lot of people put like a lot of faith in that chin. That now that's gone. People will look at him as he's fragile now. He's like a walking piece of glass going forward. Be a bit unfair. You know, Kell Brook, he got his orbital bone broken. I mean, you could look at maybe Down Dubois. Down Dubois, of course, when Joe Joyce broke his orbital bone, he didn't quite seem the same fighter that now Down Dubois, who did get hit a little bit beforehand. Now he looks like he's fragile. He gets hit like from Kevin Lorena, takes the knee 3 times. Psychologically, these things can be quite damaging. Not everybody's built like, say, Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte won't let a loss affect him. He just like, oh well, get back in a rematch. Move on, move forward. Not everybody has that. A lot of people do take things to heart. I think Anthony Joshua took it to heart. Down Dubois has taken it to heart. Wilder's taken it to heart, hasn't he? So, depends on the makeup of Joe Joyce. It really does. So, is he finished? Is it career over? Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Can he beat Zhilei Zhang in a rematch? Of course. But he has to make sure that he moves out of the way of that backhand. Because that backhand weren't missing, was it? He needs to start moving his head. All right, so, and I'm sure now he will, because he is actually a very good boxer. Look at the Down Dubois fight. Down Dubois couldn't land a punch on him. So, he's got it in him to do it. He's a former GB fighter. Of course he can, but he's really going to have to do it now. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.